How's it going, bros?
What's up?
I'm O.
I'm D.
I just want to start off by saying that this woman right here is gorgeous in every color. She's originally brown. We've seen her blue, heavenly blue, and now we've seen her green.
What, like a majestic green.
Oh,
She's beautiful.
I just want to know what color she's going to try next.
I know. It'd be great. It's exciting. Alright, bros. So, Guardians of the Galaxy. Basic story, it follows this guy named Peter Quill. He is transported from Earth to the outer reaches of the galaxy. And, which is, not a spoiler, you can see that on the trailer. And, he kind of develops this life that is pretty fantastic. And he meets he gets in this situation where he meets a bunch of other fantastic characters that have all been stricken by a similar situation, and together they kind of become heroes.
I just want to start off by saying I love this movie. I loved it, but I wish I knew more about the characters. I wish it showed us more of their backstories. But at the same time, it keeps me intrigued because I'm assuming they're going to bring out more as the trilogy progresses or the series progresses. So I'm excited to see where they go with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a continuation of the Marvel canon, and it's really cool because it's out in the outskirts. James Gunn wrote it, and I thought he did really well. I thought it worked to jive. All the characters were really on. They were all and together they worked well separately, but together is really when they popped. And so I really enjoyed it. I love the feel of it. I love the I feel like all the Marvel movies have a certain tone. I mean, they kind of vary and differ, but I feel like the general tone of a lot of the Marvel movies are pretty much the same. This movie was very different. It was very it felt like its own thing. It felt like it could have been separate from the Marvel Universe entirely, except for, of course, the cameo of the villain that we see at the end of the Avengers, which was Thanos.
Right. That's who I want to see more of. Like that was probably my biggest negative of the movie, is being teased with Thanos and then having him taken away. Like once you see Thanos, you want to see Thanos. Like, yeah. I mean, like once I knew Thanos was the villain we're going to aspire to, I wanted to see more of him. I know we have to build up more to that, but it's been teased so much. I'm just ready for Thanos to come on and take on the Avengers or the Guardians. Maybe the Guardians and the Avengers might come together.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, eventually that's pretty much what they're going to do. Not in the next one, but in the Avengers after that one, most likely.
Yeah, hopefully Avengers 3. So.
Yeah. Thanos is great. I actually liked the villain, Ronan the Accuser. A lot of people didn't like him. I thought he was pretty cool. But it really wasn't about Ronan. It was about the characters. Yeah. It was about Rocket and about Drax and about Gamora and Groot. And Rocket and Groot are awesome. Groot's pretty great. He's real. Gunn, at one point, he said that he cries when thinking about Groot because he's so innocent. You really see that in the movie. He's the most innocent of them for sure. He's like a child in a lot of ways. But Rocket, I remember for a long time they kept saying, "Oh, when this movie comes out, you're gonna love Rocket. He's gonna be the heart of the movie. He's gonna be great. Rocket, Rocket, Rocket." And I remember thinking, yeah, they're really trying to play this up so we can believe a talking raccoon. But when you see the movie, Rocket steals the show. Peter Quill is awesome. He's the main, you really follow his story the most. You get to know him the most. But Rocket is the one that I feel like when he's on screen, everything kind of, So, I guess the number one problem I have with the movie only is that you don't get to know all the characters super well. Rocket was awesome, and again, he was a scene stealer, but other than getting to know a little bit about his background that he's basically was experimented on, you don't get to know much else about him. Maybe that's all you need to know about him, but you kind of wanted to know more, especially him and Groot the most. Groot you don't know anything about.
Yeah.
They don't mention his backstory at all. He's just a talking tree.
I want to learn more about the characters' backstories. But honestly, like I was saying before, I think that they're setting up to show more in the next installments. They even teased about Peter Quill, about his father being something ancient. And I was like, what is that? And then, so I'm thinking they're teasing it, but they're gonna show more later. Is what I'm hoping anyway. Storyline. I loved how these misfits, these best band of misfits from extremely different backgrounds, like seriously, like worlds apart. They're brought together to fight against this threat, and I love their interactions together. I love how the characters build on each other and play off of each other. No, I can't give anything away, but
yeah, no, it's really cool. People hated Drax. I know you felt. How did you feel about Drax?
I like Drax. I mean, I felt at first he was kind of stale, but I think that was just Dave Bautista's acting ability. Like, he wasn't. It's not like he was a terrible actor, because this character didn't call for Oscar-nominated acting. But I mean, I just felt like his motivations and how angry he was for to avenge his family, it just didn't come off like that convincing. At first, I mean, he was just kind of stale at first, but then it seemed like he got more comfortable and fell into the role later on.
Yeah, I felt like Drax. I thought Bautista did what he was supposed to do. I felt like Drax had some of the funniest parts in the movie, and I felt like he was just kind of a different culture. I felt like the movie did that well in kind of making you feel like, oh, these are alien cultures, and I felt like Drax was just kind of, he was kind of off, but it was because he was alien, but it was also because of the things that he'd done in life and had been through. But I thought he did all right. I actually liked that part of the movie as well, as like that there were different cultures involved. They give you the impression that aliens have never seen headphones before, and so like when they put them on, like, what in the world? And that was cool, because there was a lot of technology, like the ships in this movie, and and just the different things that they had in the movie were like, oh wow, you've never seen anything quite like that before. And it was cool. It gave you the sense that it came from a different culture and mindset. And like that, in the same way, the headphones came from the mindset of people from Earth, which was unique to them, So I thought they did pretty well, kind of making it feel like, everybody was different. Like, you were seeing these different worlds colliding as they're all united in this galactic world.
Yeah, definitely. I also love the visuals. Like, some of the shots puts you in the mindset of, like, especially some of the dogfights. It puts you in the mindset of like Star Trek or Star Wars. Like, just the visuals were just gorgeous. Yeah. Like, Ronan's ship was an amazing creation. It was like kind of like one of those old school lawnmowers that you have to push that the blades roll. Looked very similar to that. Just the visuals were just gorgeous. I mean, like Rocket, the CGI that went into Rocket, he looked like a real talking raccoon. Groot looked like a real tree, and it's just
especially face.
Oh, and Thanos, like, just seeing Thanos, like. Because in the Avengers, you got teased with Thanos, you saw his face, but in this one, you got to see like all his massiveness, and how amazing he looked. So I can't wait to see him in action.
Yeah, Thanos was very, very cool. The increment of time that they show him, it's really short, but it's gratifying. Like, man, wow, I cannot wait to see what Iron Man and Thor and some of the other ones do when they meet him.
Right. I don't want to give any spoilers, but there's like they consider Thanos to be the most powerful being in the universe. At the same time, a lot of them are plotting ways to turn against Thanos or to betray Thanos. I'm like, I really admire their goal. Like, if he's as powerful as they say, then I don't know. I don't know if I'd have the same idea to want to try to betray him. Yeah, I loved the humor in this movie. We all know Marvel and their movies they're notorious for their humor. This movie especially, like for me, a lot of the Marvel movies, their humor seems to. It's about 70% of the time it hits, but then some of it falls flat. But in this movie, it's like non-stop, just non-stop, like non-stop comedy. Like this movie didn't take itself too seriously at all. Like there were serious moments, but overall, this movie was like wasn't afraid to throw in some comedy along with drama. And I loved the contrast of how the characters interacted and how comedic all of them were in their own ways.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, like I loved Captain America: The Winter Soldier, but this movie beats it out by just that much. And for me personally, there were certain things that I liked about Captain America better than this movie, but I felt like this movie, because it had heart for days, like it just, you cared about the characters so much, and they really worked them together so well. I remember my wife at the end of the movie, she was like, I think I like them as a team better than the Avengers as a team. And I thought I could understand that for sure, because the Avengers, they're fine separately. Together they're cool and they're friends, but these guys, they rely on each other. They need each other. And you kind of felt that more so in the Guardians, even more than the Avengers. And so for that reason, and because that's what they were focusing on, Ronan and some of the other villains take a back seat, but that was okay because the movie needed to set it up this way. You needed to care about these people, and you did. And I thought they did really, really well with that. And so I like it just a little bit more because of the heart and the fun, and it has a lot of you want to watch it again. I wanted to watch it immediately again because it was so like, man, I want to have that like right now. I want to go and take this home. And so it was really, really good.
Yeah, it definitely was. I agree with him. About the Avengers, it seemed like, especially, first off, the Avengers wanted nothing to do with each other, but they were sort of forced together. And you still didn't feel like they were like close, It felt like, okay, well, there's this threat that's threatening the Earth. We all should come together and stop it. It didn't really show that they were like, okay, this is a brotherhood. But in Guardians, it's the exact opposite. They started to care for each other from day one. Like as soon as they were thrown together, they started to form a bond and care about each other. So that by the end, I'm not going to spoil anything, but at the very end, there's a shot of them. It was beautifully shot. They actually relied on each other. They actually had to physically come together for all of them to survive, and I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah, it was really well done.
So I loved it. I think it was a great first installment, and I cannot wait to see the next in the series.
Yeah, and I loved it too. Yeah, it was flat out. It was amazing. It was great. So, if you saw it and you liked it, please comment below. If you didn't like it, comment below. Please let us know. We love you guys. Yeah. Thanks for watching our videos.
Like and subscribe. I'm O.
I'm D.
Bro Bros out.